Oh my god. Forever Kaiju and I were just joking, alright? We were just joking on our last live stream. This really is a remake to King Kong 76. Hi. This is my cat. Anyways, hello YouTube, this is Adam Noyce of AN Productions, and welcome to this sort of episode of the Godzilla vlogs. That's why it's 11.5. And I think from here on out, anything that revolves around this will be a 0.5. It won't be like an actual full episode. But the reason why this is going on the Godzilla vlogs is because this takes place, or is a part of the new Legendary Pictures Godzilla cinematic universe. As a part of the, Godzilla 2014. And so today we're going to be talking about that trailer that was just released from the San Diego Comic-Con for Kong Skull Island. I actually don't like that title. I wish they just called it Skull Island. That I thought would have been awesome. But, it is what it is. I have no idea who this director is. Jordan Wright? Is that right? I don't know who this director is. I haven't seen any of his other work or anything like that, so I have no real expectations for what it's going to look like. It's probably going to look like generic Hollywood stuff, which is fine. But one of the things that really grabbed me when I watched this trailer is that this doesn't take place in modern times. I thought for a very long time that this was going to basically take place a little bit in the 1970s, and then the rest of it was going to take place in the modern day, world. I was wrong, and I'm actually happy to say that I was wrong. This entire movie is going to take place in the 1970s, which is totally awesome. Anyways, and the thing that I like about that is that everything's very kind of like Vietnam looking, and I love that kind of look. I love the Vietnam sort of presence or aura to films and so on and so forth, which is one reason why I'm really excited for this. Yes, I'm really excited about this. For those of you who don't know, King Kong 33 and King Kong 05 are my two favorite movies of all time. I won't get into why, but they are my two favorite films of all time. And I'm not an elitist. I'm not one of those people that says King Kong should only take place in 1933. No, I'm not one of those kind of people. The reason why I have the opinion that I do of King Kong 76 isn't because it takes place in 1976. It's because they didn't really capture the character of Kong correctly. They didn't, or not even that. It just sort of it didn't have the best human characters. Had a great score, had pretty decent visual effects. The green screen shots were terrible, but it just was kind of a mess of a movie. It wasn't the fact that it takes place in 76 is why I don't really like it. I mean, it's okay, but I can't believe that this movie actually feels like a remake of King Kong 76. We were joking about that on Weight Watchers for Radioactive Dinosaurs, the last live stream we did. And I literally shit bricks when Brayton posted it on Geeks for Geeks. I was like, oh my god. Which is why I challenged somebody out there to make a trailer mashup with this and King Kong Escapes. Because there were even shots in this movie that looks like they're straight out of King Kong Escapes. For example, the helicopter's flying towards the silhouette of Kong with the sun behind him. That's a really gorgeous shot, by the way. And I love how we don't see King Kong in this. They're doing kind of a very similar thing to Godzilla 2014, where we don't see Godzilla, we just see like glimpses of him here and there, which I like because that makes my mouth water, and that is what trailers are supposed to do. Do we know why these people are on these islands, or is on Skull Island? No, I love the shot though of that boat going into the fog. I love that shot. You know what's really cool about this is that despite the fact that this King Kong 33 never happened, what I really like about this is that it's very much so still capturing the essence that is Kong. You have Skull Island that's full of dinosaurs and has natives on it. You have Skull Island that's very beautiful but very, very, very deadly. Or you also have reminiscence of some sort of past civilization on there, judging by the dialogue within the trailer. You also have Kong, of course, Big Kong, defending his home territory. And you have the Fog Bank, which is very important for Skull Island. That's literally in every single incarnation of King Kong himself, excluding the Japanese stuff. I am super excited for this. This looks really, really interesting. The one thing that I really hope that this movie doesn't do, and I don't really know if it's going to do this or not, is the fact that I hope Kong doesn't have a love interest. I hope there isn't like a Fay Ray and Darrow character in this movie. And I pray to God that there isn't. And to be honest, I hope, or there are female characters in this movie, I hope that nothing happens between them and Kong. I hope that this is just totally a sort of movie that just focuses on mainly the island itself. The reason why I wish this movie wasn't called Kong Skull Island is I actually wish this movie would just focus on Skull Island. And have Kong as like the big antagonist of the film. Not necessarily make him angry, but or a villain, but make him in essence the villain because he's defending his territory and he's the biggest obstacle for these characters. Now, are there dinosaurs on this island? Well, there were clearly past dinosaurs because there's these bones everywhere, and we know that some of them are other Kongs, so there's clearly more species other than Kong himself. And we know that this Kong is a lot bigger than the one in 33. He's even bigger than the one in 76. This Kong, they said, is like 100 feet tall, which still, how is that going to fight Godzilla? That still baffles me. He's 1/3 his height. But, it's all interesting. And this movie has a budget of $190 million, according to IMDb. And that's 60 million more. That's anywhere from 30 to 60 million more than Godzilla 2014. Kind of interesting how this is more expensive than the movie that should have relied more on CGI and visual effects because there's a monster battle in a city and so on and so forth. That this costs more. And as I was looking at the cast, I suddenly realized why. It wasn't so much that the CGI was going to be more, it was more the sense that this movie has a much bigger cast than Godzilla 2014 did. Godzilla 2014 basically had two big actors in the movie. It had Ken Watanabe and Bryan Cranston, and they killed Bryan Cranston off pretty freaking quick in the movie. This movie has a huge smorgasbord of actors. Tom Hiddleston is awesome. I loved him as Loki. Even though I'm not that much of a fan of those movies. I like them, don't get me wrong, but I'm just not like a huge fanboy over them. I like his performance. And he kind of does play off somebody who can pull his own weight, but somebody who's kind of a dork at the same time. That's what I hope his character is like in this. But the thing that really surprised me, because I hadn't been following any of the sort of stuff being released about the movie, because I wanted to be surprised for the trailers, John Goodman's in this. I fucking love John Goodman. John Goodman makes everything good. Even the Blues Brothers 2000s, I enjoyed John Goodman. He gave a good performance. He's fun. And it makes me so happy. And him wearing that hat and that outfit, he looks kind of like an older Carl Denham, too. Specifically, there's this one shot where everyone is hiding in this thing and they're looking at something. I really like that. John C. Reilly is going to be in this. Tom Wilkinson. It's either Wilkins or Wilkinson. He's a British actor, and he played in Valkyrie. I love him too. He has a very good kind of no-nonsense kind of aura or presence to him, and I really like him. This cast is pretty good. The only cast is amazing, and I bet you that's where a lot of that budget had gone. That extra $30 million had really gone was to get such a good cast, because this is really a good cast, a good strong cast. Visually, this looks striking, just like Godzilla 2014. But Godzilla 2014 had kind of a muted color palette throughout the entire thing, which is kind of the go-to color correction of modern day cinema. What I like about this is this movie is very green, very yellow, very red looking, which I applaud. I like colors. Kind of ironic that I just made Which Way They Walk, and Which Way They Walk is in black and white. But I really like colors. I miss colors. And I'm not saying that this looks like Technicolor, but there's color there, and I really, really like that. It's not It's not something that's sort of muted. Everything is very, very orange and green when you're in the jungle and stuff. For example, there's this one shot of like a soldier. He's a black soldier who kind of turns around. He's looking at something. This typical giant monster movie shot of somebody turning around to look at something. And it's all green, and his uniform is perfectly green in there. It looks really good. It does. It looks pretty good. The cinematography, though, kind of, as I'm looking at it in this trailer, does look like typical Hollywood action cinematography. But, I think it'll make it work. Godzilla 2014 had amazing cinematography. And I'm not sure if it's the same guy in this or not. I think his last name is Lang. The guy, he did the cinematography for Batman v Superman, which Batman v Superman had good cinematography if they just used the shots properly. Or better, I should say. He works with Zack Snyder a lot. The last thing I want to talk about here is I was looking at the writing credits in this movie, and there's like 600 of them. That's a problem. I think a writing team works best if there's 2 writers, maybe 3. 2 writers, maybe 3. Because if you have 2 writers, then you have someone to basically create the story and basically pen out a first draft, and then you hand that draft off to another writer who you can trust and who you can work with, and then they work on the second draft, and then together they make the third draft. That's how I think writing should really go. That's how Which Way They Walk was made with me and Mark Shoppy, for the most part, specifically the first half of the movie. I would definitely stick to that. But this has like 800 writing credits. And that's a problem, because every person that's writing this has their own voice, has their own vision of what they want this movie to be like. And oftentimes, if you have a lot of writers like this movie has, it creates a smorgasbord. It basically creates a mess, a smorgasbord of crap, where sometimes themes don't mesh up, or sometimes things don't flesh out properly, or things of that nature. And the thing that really kind of makes me upset is that Max Borenstein is the head writer. Max Borenstein is one of the main reasons why Godzilla 2014 is the mess that it is in terms of the writing. He's not the best writer. Max Borenstein is a great person to basically be handed. He'd be a great person to basically say, here's the second draft. Or even, here's the third draft. He's a good revisionist. He's not a great come up with the scenario and pull it out of your ass kind of writer. And it worries me that he's the head writer of this movie. But I will always reserve full judgment by Kat until I actually see the movie myself, which I will definitely be seeing, and I am certainly hyped to see this movie, and I will gladly say that it is a great time to be a kaiju nerd. So like AN Productions on Facebook for all up-to-date information of what we're doing here at AN Productions. Like the Godzilla Saga on Facebook if you want up-to-date information on how the books are going. Go on Facebook as usual and join Geeks for Geeks. If you are passionate about something, you want to talk to us about it. The only group that we don't really like is My Little Pony. Sorry about that. And if you have stuff to promote, that's also a place to go. It's a great place for networking and meeting new people. Very, very small, tight-knit group. What are your opinions on this trailer? More than willing to read them and try to discuss with you what's going on. And hopefully I won't have 1/3 of this video disliked. Oh well, you're not stopping me, trolls. And it's the same 7 people, you're not stopping me. So in the end, this is Abnoise of AN Productions saying, sayonara.